Today we are going to talk about the agentic side of AI. Not just traditional AI, but agentic AI. And there's a big difference between both. And we're going to see this during the presentation. So here is what we're going to cover today. We're going to see first the shift to agentic AI, then the Firebase AI fundamentals. And we're going to talk about how we can generate user interface component from AI. Now, there is a big difference between the AI we used to know and this new era of AI, right? So I'm going to go through it. So the AI we used to know, I call it traditional AI. And the new AI that we have now is the agentic AI. So let's see the two categories and the difference between both. So in the traditional AI era, we will say something like, hey, what's a good category for a coffee, right? So let's say, for our demo, for example, we want to build an AI expense tracker. So we will ask the AI, what's the good category for a coffee? And the AI will say, yeah, food and drinks. Okay? Now you're going to ask the AI, go and add it. And the AI will reply back and tell you, you know what, I can't do it. So you have to do it by your own, and it will give you, like, I would say, the instruction to do it. And if you have used or remarked this enough, at the beginning of Gemini, for example, or ChatGPT, that was the whole thing. Like you ask, for example, ChatGPT to do something for you, and it would definitely tell you, I can't do it. Go and do it and show you how it works. But now, with the agentic AI, I can go to ChatGPT, for example, and I would say, hey, I'm looking for flights from DC to LA, for example. And it will definitely just suggest Expedia API. It will actually, bring the Expedia MCP and tell me, you can book this flight with Expedia. And it has happened to me a lot of times. So that's the difference of between the traditional AI we used to have and the new agentic AI. So we will do something like add coffee to my expense, and the AI will automatically get the category of the request or the instruction we are giving it to it, and automatically update the UI. So in terms of difference, here's the thing. For the traditional AI, it just answers questions. For the agentic AI, it takes action. So you can, it's like processes running on your behalf. So you can definitely orchestrate multiple actions, and the AI will respond properly. And traditional AI doesn't have state, while agentic AI understands context. So by context, we mean that if, for example, you kind of give to the AI, you probably do it, probably with ChatGPT or something like that. When, for example, you submit a document and you want the AI to analyze it, the AI can understand it and suggest things to you, even like, take actions, like we said. Yeah, and traditional AI doesn't really have like the dynamic or the generative aspect. A traditional AI, it just, you ask him questions and it will give you answers. So it doesn't really have the dynamic or the generative aspect. And agentic AI is AI assisted, like really AI assisted. AI can orchestrate everything, while the traditional AI is user driven. You do everything. And basically, with agentic AI, you can have real-time adaptation, and traditional AI doesn't offer that. So these are key characteristics of agentic apps. So first, we have the reasoning. Agentic app can reason. It can add, adapt, and it's very accessible. Now, the bottom line is agentic AI is the AI that understands your intent, takes actions on your behalf, and adapts your UI and behavior in real time. So for our demo, we're going to use three main technologies, I would say. But like I said, on my socials, this is really beginner friendly. So I'm not going to, of course, we're going to do a demo. I'm going to show also the code and everything, but we're not going to go through this aspect because I consider them as more advanced. So yeah, for our demo, we're going to use three things: Firebase, Flutter, and the Gen UI. So I'll start with Firebase. So what is Firebase? Does anyone in the room knows about Firebase? Like, has anyone ever used Firebase? That's great. So Firebase is Google's backend platform that gives you authentication, database hosting function, login, and the newly AI logic. So just see it this way. Instead of you creating a whole backend, the backend for any project, Google handles that through Firebase. So you can literally do anything you want, from authentication to data storage to real-time data, and to even crash, like analyzing the logs of your project. If, for example, your app is crashing, or you want to see which number of user clicks on a specific button, for example, Firebase handle all of that. Now, their new feature is called AI Logic, and that's what we are going to use for our demo. Now, I'll go through, the AI logic aspect a little bit more. So this is where actually you have like prompts, tools, and the security. So let's say you want to integrate AI into your app, right? So you have multiple options. The first option is to, let's say I want to integrate Gemini, Google's leading AI model. If I want to integrate Gemini, I would just go to their Gemini API and try to use the Gemini API. Now, there are a few things that you will face. If, for example, you are using an API, definitely you will have to kind of handle the API key and check also the quotas, the limits, the tokens, and do all those things. So with Firebase, you don't have to handle all these things. Google takes care of it. So you just have to build and actually pay. Yeah, so you pay for the product, but you don't have to check, for example, the quotas, the security constraint and everything. Google handles all of those things for you. And it also, since Google is handling the whole security aspect, you don't have to add an API key or anything like that. Yeah, and you can switch very easily between Gemini models, because Gemini has tons of models, and sometimes you must just want to kind of switch the model from, I would say, a remote config, right? And Firebase gives you that, Firebase AI Logic gives you that ability. Now, why does it matter for agentic apps? So first is for the tool calling, okay? We will go through the tool calling, what is called a tool in the agentic jargon. And first for the tool calling, second for the safety, and the workflow orchestration plus the logs and the model versioning. Yeah. Now, the second technology we are going to use for the demo is Flutter. So has anyone ever used Flutter in the room? That's good. Okay. So I'm a Flutter pro guy. I'm actually a Google developer expert in Flutter and Dart. So Flutter is a cross-platform framework, which means that with the single code base, you can create multiple apps. So you can build an Android or iOS app, or even a web plus desktop. So for our demo, for example, I opened it on iOS and also on macOS, basically desktop and mobile version. That's what I'm gonna show. So it's very interesting because it has this. It gives you this control over your UI. You're not just using the random components. You actually control what you are adding. Now, it's very important to mention why, for this demo, I'm using Flutter. I could use probably any sort of technology, but this is because Flutter renders fast, and also it's cross-platform. Like I say, I don't have to code for every single platform. And it's a declarative UI. So, yeah, basically that's what I'm using it. Now, let's talk about Gen UI. So I have to go back and tell you a little bit story about Gen UI. So we have the Firebase AI Logic that I talk about, which gives you the ability to switch Gemini models, or basically AI models, which is good. Now, a Gen UI is based on Firebase AI Logic. Now, the Gen UI itself is not like, I would say, a specific technology. It is actually a dependency or a package, for Flutter. So the problem we had, or we still have, because this is, I would say, experimental. So the problem we have with the current state of AI is that most of the time when you ask AI, we can even take, ChatGPT or Gemini or any sort of AI that you know. If we take these AIs right now and we ask maybe like some basic requests, it will pull out the information only as a text, like a README. Okay, so the test will be formatted as a README, which is great because it actually helps, But on the long run, I think humans are created to always, have this evolving mind. So the main question was, what if I ask you a question and then you generate me, I would say, a widget or a component, like a visible, user interface. So that's what brought, I would say, the Flutter team at Google to create the Gen UI. So think of Gen UI as an output that you collect or you get from AI, but this output is dynamic so that you can have, for example, a pie chart or a bar chart or even like any sort of user interface that you want or the component that you want. You can get it from the Gen UI. So when you think about it, it evolves AI, but this AI here is the Firebase AI Logic that we talk about, which gives you the ability to switch Gemini models. So that's basically it. Now, this is very important to note. With the new AI era we are entering or we are in, JSON, like the JSON type of file, is becoming more important because most of the component or the output that we are getting them as JSON files, which are formatted so that the AI can easily understand it. So that's something I want to mention. So, like I was saying, GenUI is Flutter's answer to AI and UI problem, which lets the AI generate actual UI widget or component, not just text or README. So you can translate the model output into real Flutter widget trees at runtime. So I don't want to go through all these technical details, but basically it helps your app become more dynamic with dynamic user interface components. So this is very important. This is an experimental package or dependency in the Flutter community, but yeah, most of those package evolves really quickly. So yeah, we can expect like the first release version pretty soon. Yeah. So as a recap, Firebase AI Logic helps you first get Gemini model unified, and you also have the central place for prompts, tools, and security guardrails. You can switch models and prompt without updates, right? And for Flutter is a multi-platform UI with high performance and great, which is very great for animations and the real-time update. Now for Gen UI, it lets you or lets the model generate actual UI widget trees, dynamic screens, layout, and the surfaces. And the agent doesn't, just reply with a text, but it reply with a dynamic user interface. Now, I have to go through, some core concept before the demo. So the first, for those who don't know how to add Firebase to their apps, it's very important to actually know that, because in order to use Firebase, you have to add, Firebase to your project. And it works in, I would say, the similar way for every single language or framework. Yeah, so that's very important. Now, so for us in Flutter, the way we used to add Firebase to our project is first adding the Firebase core. And since we are we want to use the AI, component of Firebase here, we are going to add also the Firebase AI dependency. And then we're gonna, obviously initialize Firebase. So the initialization goes like this. Pretty simple, you don't have to complicate it. Now, how do you create models? Like, how do you integrate Gemini model in the project? So we're talking about Gemini here. Probably for those who don't know, Gemini is the leading model of Google. The leading AI model of Google. So Gemini is now integrated in all Google products. So I don't know, for those who use like Gmail Pro or apps like that, you can now see the summary of some emails when you get it. All these things are powered by the Gemini model. So that's why we're going to use also through Firebase AI. So in order to add or use the model, we have to declare it this way. Now, okay, let me go back here. So here is one thing important. So you can see here that I have Firebase AI.Google AI. So Google has, I'll say, two ways to call the models from Firebase. So the first way is by using the Google AI method, or the second one is the Vertex AI API. So these are two, I would say, two but similar things, but they differ from the payment plan. So Vertex AI is the paid version, while Google AI is just the free tier. Cool. So for every single AI, we need to define what we call the instructions, right? So this goes like prompts, and there is no specific restriction or specific way of declaring those things. The only thing is that you have to also follow some, just good practices. So you can see, or you can check on the internet, you can find a lot of good practices of writing, a good prompt. So for us, here is how we're going to do it. We want to create an AI expense tracker. So our instruction goes like, you are an expense tracking assistant. Intent, take actions using tools. I'll define the tools later on. So use tools, use Gen UI to update the UI, and ask for confirmation in text mode and everything. So this is like the brain of the whole project. It seems like something that might probably not matter, but I can guarantee you that if this is wrong, there might be some issue with the project. That's why you have to take time to write a good prompt and make sure that the prompt you're writing is actually gonna bring or like output the results you are looking for. Yep. So let's talk about tools. So the AI era brought, I would say, some terms that we knew before, but those terms changed, and now they are called, I would say, in different ways. So a tool is just a function, okay? A tool in agentic AI or even AI as a whole is just a function. So for us, for example, a tool will be to add an expense. A tool will also be maybe to add, I would say, a total of an expense. A tool could also be maybe generate charts of the expense. So these are just functions for software developers who are in the room. So yeah, but the only difference here is that there is a specific or a particular way of declaring or creating these functions. That's the main difference. So for example, here you can see the structure, and this is like the same structure that you use for every single new tool or function call that you want to make for the project. Yeah. Now, after defining your tools, you got to define the UI building block. So this is where the Gen UI dependency or package comes in action. So here, for example, we want to generate dynamic cards or dynamic UI component. So for these ones, we would have, for example, we have the expense card. So I'll give it like the title. I want the expense card to show the title, the amount, or I can add maybe the date of, the date when I added the expense, and many yeah, specification as the one. We don't have any restriction here. Yep. Now, after defining like the dynamic components, you might now want to incorporate all those dynamic components as what we call the surfaces. This is just like the group of the single component that you defined previously. So, for example, we want to build an expense tracking app. So we have the categories, we have the charts, we have the dialogue, we have the background. We can add as much as we want. Yeah, so let's see the demo. So I'm going to show you, an AI-powered expense tracker where a user can simply say things like add coffee, $5, and it will automatically create the categories. So if the category doesn't exist, it will create the category for that expense and add the expense. And it's really in real time. User can also choose to change like the color of the category and do a bunch of things. So yeah, let's get into it. All right. So here's the app. So I have it running now as an iOS app. I will try to run also the macOS version, and you'll see it's probably like it's the same layout. So let me pick this and run it. Yeah. Now, the way it works is pretty simple. Okay. So let's say I want to add an expense. I'm going to open the chat, so I can open the chat really quick. And then I can say something like add coffee and $5, okay, $5 USD. And this will goes on like the assistant will take it, and right after a couple of minutes or seconds, it will add the expense. So you can see the whole expense got added here with also the category. So I can guarantee you that this doesn't come from the code. Like I didn't put the food category somewhere as a dummy data. This is definitely AI, and I'm going to show you for coders in the room. They're going to read a little bit of code, and I can do more. I can add, for example, which one? Let's say electricity bills. Okay, so don't mind about the data. It's just dummy data. So let's say electricity. I don't know, $100. Okay, and let's do it. Yeah, it takes some time, but so you can see here it's got added, and it automatically assign the utilities category to the expense. Now, here is where it goes very interesting. Now I can ask it, show me like the total of this expense. So I'll say show expenses total. So you can see it actually knows where to add the expense total, and like when you kind of check it, like this is 105. So I can do more. I can say, what, show me maybe the bar chart, like just some graphs, and I can say show the bar chart of all the expenses. All right. So it will generate the chart for me, so I can visualize the data. So now you can see it added the chart. I can now say, you know what, I don't like this chart. Show me maybe a pie chart. So yeah, I'll give it a time to come back. So in the meantime, you can see here, like I'm running actually the same. Oh yeah, we got, okay, so Gemini Developer API is overloaded. We can try again later. It's not a big deal. We will come back later. But you can see here that I'm generating, I've also run the same project as a desktop application, using, like this is the cross-platform side of Flutter that I love the most. So now I have the same app, now with a different, because it's desktop, so it's quite different. Now, the reason why it's black is because my theme here is a black theme. So if I change the theme into white, it should normally look the same as the background of what we have. Now I can do more. I can say add. Yeah. So let's change the the chart. We will use a pie chart. So change the chart into pie chart. So normally you will see the bar chart will be updated and now be turned into a pie chart. This way. Yeah, so you can see it here. It's changing. Now, the main thing is that when we take a traditional AI, it won't do that. A traditional AI will just, output the text or like the README sort of stuff, and that's all. That's the only thing that the traditional AI will do. Now, with Gen UI, we have now the ability to generate dynamic user interfaces or UI components. So the API is actually failing sometimes, but yeah, this is mainly error handling. And we can do more. We can add line charts and everything. And we can test this exactly here as well. I can do the same thing here. The only thing is that with this setup, I'm not able to kind of see this is not real time. Like the data I'm having here is not actually stored maybe somewhere. Otherwise, you will see like the same data also reflected on a desktop. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, we can do the same thing here. I'll do it really quick because I think I'll be out of time in a few moments. So I can do this. And yeah, it will add also the category thing here. Yeah.
Hi, Pfeiffer. Quick question. For your first expense tracker on the right, since it has context, will it remember next time you ask it to make a chart to default to a pie chart, or will it always default to the bar chart?
That's a good question. And that's what I was talking about, because this is really like a demo. So I didn't kind of take it really further, updating the context and everything. So definitely it can remember, the last time, like where you left it, for the last time. But you have to customize it and probably store it somewhere. You have to have a data storage. You can definitely do that with Firebase, but I didn't integrate that data storage, into the project. So I just kind of like the intent of the whole demo is to show you like the generative UI aspect. So that's why. But definitely you can do that. You can remember the context and you can pull out the context, and that's help you with that the next time. Yeah. So basically that's it. Yeah. And now there are so many things you can do here. I was also integrating the the live voice. But yeah, it failed at some point, because this is a demo. So right now, if I so yeah, so yeah, you can so it can talk. But right now, like yeah, yeah. Okay, so we'll leave it there. I'm out of time, so okay, okay. All right, so we'll leave it there. No problem. Now, for the code, really quick. For those who are interested, you can actually see like a few things, the way we define like the catalog. So I'll zoom in. So we have the catalog item. So this class is definitely from the Gen UI package. So you can define like a lot of items as you want. You can have the many catalog items like category, the background image item, like so many things. It just depends on what you want to build. And I also integrated the image like the image generation feature of Firebase. So if, for example, I can tell it, change the background. Change the background to, I don't know, a party, for example. Normally, you should be able to do it. So it will actually, update the background. Oh yeah, I think. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. So the API is overloaded, so we won't try to push it further. Yeah, and I'm really out of time, so I'll keep it there. Please, can we switch? Yeah. Yeah, but I want to switch really quick. Can you tell him to switch? Okay, thank you. So a few things. So yeah, these are resources if you want to take a a screenshot. I have the repo experimental and the more advanced. So if you want to check it out, you can definitely do. Yeah. So these are things that you need to kind of keep in mind for your agentic app development. So first, define the widget catalog. Create the AI tool like the function code that we talked about. Set also the group of the AI tools and write also clear system instruction like we said. And yeah, basically that's it. Yeah, but this is my favorite code. In the future, apps won't only talk to users. They will work alongside AI, adapting, collaborating, and acting. So that's definitely for the future. So yeah, open to maybe one or two questions before.
We have space for one question. Just one question.
Okay. This one?
Hey, my name is Jabari. Quick question. So how does agentic AI determine when user input is required? Is that handled whenever the agent needs to use an MCP endpoint or something like that, or is that defined by the MCP endpoint? Or can you talk to that?
Yeah. Okay. So I made a video. So I used to create content as well. So I made a video about the difference between MCP and agentic, or agent. So agent, are running through MCP. Okay. So when you see an agent, the protocol importing this agent is actually